There's a silent war being fought all around you, not with guns or soldiers, but with numbers. It's the war between money and value, and it's been reshaping the world without anyone realizing it. Every paycheck, every loan, every economic miracle hides the same invisible battle. The one between what's real and what's printed. You see, money was supposed to represent value, proof of work, production, and trust. But somewhere along the way, the two divorced, and the world has been living with the consequences ever since. Today, we're going to uncover how money and value, once identical twins, became enemies, how that conflict created bubbles, debt, and illusions of wealth, and why understanding this hidden war might be the only way to survive what is coming next. Long before stock markets and central banks, value was simple. If you grew crops, made tools, or mined gold, you created value, and money was merely a reflection of that effort. Gold and silver had value because they were scarce, durable, and required work to obtain. You couldn't fake them, you couldn't print them. Money and value were inseparable, like a mirror and its reflection. But as trade expanded, nations needed something easier to exchange. They replaced gold with paper receipts, each one backed by gold in a vault. Still, the promise remained. Every paper note had value behind it. For a while, the system worked, but human temptation always finds the weakest link. Bankers realized something astonishing. People rarely came to claim their gold all at once. So, they began issuing more notes than gold reserves, essentially creating new money from nothing but trust. It worked beautifully until someone asked for their gold back. And just like that, money began its slow separation from value. The 18th and 19th centuries marked the rise of fractional reserve banking, the system where banks could lend far more than they actually owned. Governments loved it. It meant unlimited credit, funding for wars, faster growth, and a way to buy time. But something subtle changed. Money creation became a political tool, not an economic reflection. In 1913, with the creation of the Federal Reserve, the United States handed over the power to issue money to a private banking system. It was sold as stability. In truth, it was the beginning of a global shift from value-based economies to debt-based economies. Money was no longer created through production. It was created through borrowing. Every new dollar was born as someone's debt, owed back with interest that didn't yet exist. To pay it, more money had to be created. And the cycle fed itself endlessly. The illusion of prosperity grew. Skyscrapers, booming markets, and cheap credit masked a darker truth. We were getting richer in numbers, not in value. For decades, there was still one fragile tether keeping money tied to value. Gold. Under the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944, the US dollar was backed by gold, and other nations pegged their currencies to the dollar. It was a promise of order, a global standard, but behind the scenes, that promise was breaking. America was printing more dollars than it had gold to back. Wars, welfare programs, and corporate bailouts created a tidal wave of paper claims on a shrinking pile of metal. And then came the moment everything changed. August 15th, 1971, President Richard Nixon announced that the US would temporarily suspend the dollar's convertibility into gold. That temporary measure never ended. Gold was out. Faith was in. From that day forward, money became completely detached from physical value. It existed only because people believed in it. Money had officially won the war, and value had lost. The decades that followed looked like prosperity. The stock market boomed, property values soared, and consumer credit exploded. But under the surface, something was breaking. Without any anchor, money could be created infinitely, and it was. Governments borrowed endlessly. Banks created credit at lightning speed, and consumers learned to live on loans instead of savings. We stopped asking, "What's this worth?" We started asking, "What's the monthly payment?" Debt became wealth. Inflation became normal, and speculation replaced productivity. In 2008, the illusion cracked. Banks failed, markets collapsed, and the world saw how fragile the system really was. But rather than letting the market reset, central banks printed more money than ever before. They created quantitative easing. It was sold as recovery, but it was just another layer of illusion. Every crisis since minus 2008, 2020, 2023, has been met with the same response. Print, inflate, borrow, repeat. The war between money and value didn't end it. Escalated. Modern economists treat money like medicine. If the economy slows, they inject more. If prices rise, they pull some back. But medicine becomes poison when overused. Today, global debt has reached over $315 trillion, nearly 4 times the world's total annual output. Every new dollar of debt produces less and less real value. The result is a world addicted to easy money, where inflation silently robs purchasing power and savings lose meaning. The more central banks print, the richer asset owners become, and the poorer wage earners feel. This is known as the Cantillon effect. The closer you are to the source of money creation, the more you benefit. Everyone else gets inflation later. Governments promise solutions, digital currencies, price controls, stimulus. But each one only deepens the dependence on a system that's already collapsing under its own weight. We've seen this before. Ancient Rome debased its silver coins until their value vanished. Revolutionary France printed so many assignats that bread cost millions. The Weimar Republic's printing presses turned savings into ashes. Each time, society mistook money expansion for prosperity, until the collapse revealed the truth. Today, it's happening again, but this time, it's global. We live in a world where value creation has been replaced by value simulation. GDP rises because of spending, not productivity. Stock markets rise on expectations, not earnings, and entire generations chase numbers on screens instead of building real wealth. When money and value go to war, one always wins and the other pays the price. Right now, the world is still paying. So what happens when the war between money and value reaches its endgame? History gives us clues, none of them peaceful. Currencies collapse. Systems reset. Wealth redistributes, often violently, but awareness changes everything. Because once you understand how the system works, you can step outside it. You can store value instead of chasing money. You can build what inflation can't erase: skills, assets, and knowledge. 3 takeaways. Money is no longer value, it's belief. Whoever controls that belief controls the economy. Debt drives the illusion of prosperity. Every boom is just borrowed time. The next collapse won't be financial. It'll be psychological. It'll be the moment people stop believing in the system itself. The war between money and value has been raging for centuries, quietly shaping every price, every policy, and every paycheck. And the scariest part, most people still don't realize there's a war at all. The secret war between money and value that nobody noticed. Subscribe for more untold stories about money, power, and the hidden systems shaping our world.